What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros Afternoon Show. We got a lot to talk about because Bitcoin is making some moves, continuing to break resistance. Of course, we're not necessarily as explosive as we were the other day with all of the hype of ETFs coming in. We do have some news to cover there that, again, we're probably not seeing a Bitcoin ETF until the year 2024, but that has not stopped the bulls from pushing prices higher. And there's a move happening right now that potentially could be sending us up towards $40,000. We're going to talk about that and kind of clarify, is that going to happen? Is there some lower levels below that we should be keeping our eyes on? Is it just down from here? Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button and stay tuned for the entire show. We're going to talk Bitcoin. We're going to talk altcoins. We're going to do TA and the news, and we're going to get some Q&A at the end of the show. But we're so glad to have you guys here with us. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. T. Shroom from down there in Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how are you feeling today?
I got to say, I'm feeling better than I deserve. I really am. And I'll tell you why. I do not have a quote of the day because I'm going to tell a little story. I'm going to share a little story.
A story?
I was planning this story, but I completely forgot my visual. But pretend this is an iPhone 5S. It's not. It's my phone. My normal 13. But I went into my closet, and I have a time capsule that I keep, like, notes, mostly like Christmas cards for my grandma and old journals and things like that. And which, Granny, if you're listening, love you. I found my old iPhone 5S. I guess I couldn't get any money back from Verizon that they have the trade-in programs and stuff over the years. So I fired that baby up, and man, it has just been a blast from the past. None of the apps are updated. This was all pre-Elon buying Twitter. So it's kind of crazy, and I've been exploring that phone. Now you might be hearing this and being like, T-Shroom, nobody cares at all. But I think it's a lot of fun. It's a little time capsule to explore. So anyway,
I still have an iPhone 3 sitting in my bed, nightstand or whatever, right next to my bed.
Wow!
I just have never done anything with it. I've had it for forever.
That's an old one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be worth some money one day if you can. Does it still work?
Okay. I have not even attempted. It has been with me in probably 4 or 5 different houses.
Okay.
Without being touched. It just stays in that nightstand drawer and moves with me from house to house, and I just have nothing else to do with it. I don't know.
Gotcha. Well,
I never even opened my nightstand drawer. For all I know, it's been stolen, and I would never know because I never go into there and look.
Right. Well, if it's not there, it was not me. It was probably Brody. He's looking for something to chew on.
You might have stolen it. We're going to get into a lot of charts here today. I did just see Eric Wallen saying stocks are dumping.
Stop. Yeah, the NASDAQ is...
We're definitely going to talk about Bitcoin, but if something has happened, are you aware of anything that would be causing... I mean, I know this whole week we have we have reports coming out, earning reports, yeah. Is there anything happening right now that's just killing the market?
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of jump ahead to the TradFi news. I mean, this is the NASDAQ right now. If I don't know why my computer's being a little laggy here. That's strange. But if you look here, I mean, if you count that wick, we maybe haven't broken out too badly, but if you go candlestick to candlestick here, sorry, I should have probably pre-drawn this, but we have definitely broken through, right? This red candlestick is now what it probably like, let's see. Well, it's some percentage to the downside from breaking out. Gosh. I can never get this to like, there we go. Yeah, it's about a percentage down from this line of support. So that's not good. Why? Why is it doing this? Well, I think it has a lot to do with the earnings here of these two names. So mainly this one is to the downside. So Alphabet shares drop.
I don't think people can see. Okay, Alphabet. There you go.
You're right. Alphabet, otherwise known as Google, shares drop as cloud misses overshadows better than expected overall results. And as you can see here, if I jump over to the Google charts, you can see down 9.79% is Google or Alphabet. Yeah, real bad. Real bad. Just sliced right through that midline of the Bollinger Band. Let's check out the monthly, what it looks like. Yeah, so it's coming back. Yeah, so you can see it's been in this upper range of the Bollinger Bands, making its way back down towards the gravity of the center, and also getting those MACD lines starting to curl back on the monthly. So That doesn't paint a very good portrait for the rest of the year, honestly, for risk assets. If their earnings for something like Google isn't coming out. Now keep in mind, they didn't miss their earnings. They actually beat their earnings estimates. It's just their cloud data or their cloud metrics just came in so unfavorably. So that's the roundup on stocks. On the flip side, which I'm way overweight on Microsoft, you may have thought, oh, T-Shroom's way overweight, a little bit, but I'm way overweight on Microsoft versus my Google holding, so I'm fine. Like I'm not shedding a tear today. In fact, Caleb Branson mentioned on Twitter he's going to be buying more Google. I probably will be too. Probably wait till probably like 2 o'clock tomorrow to kind of check out where the price is and then buy in then. But yeah, if you look at Microsoft, it's having the complete opposite, right? It's having a nice move to the upside after favorable earnings, and they had some good outcomes with their AI chips. What was the headline? Ticks up after faster cloud growth and hopeful revenue forecast. Yeah, I've also seen AI in the bullish headlines is kind of scrolling around the internet through the day. But
yeah, well, I'll tell you another stock that is down today. It's one that we kind of talked about might go down yesterday. If you go to my screen, that would be good old Coinbase.
There it is.
Down 4% today. And remember, I know some people are saying, hey, this is just something Cathie Wood does from time to time. She takes profit on her investments. But I don't know, guys. I mean, the last time she took profit on her Coinbase investment, if you were to go back, it was, I can't remember which day exactly it was, but in one day, the stock dropped, I believe it was something like 19%. I do not remember which day it was. I can't remember how long ago. Definitely in the year 2023, so maybe we're looking somewhere over here. But the whole point is when she sells her coin, there's usually something she knows. She also sold her GBTC, which is technically actually a little update, kind of hovering similar to where it was yesterday when she sold, although we have multiple gaps down here. Definitely, guys, keep your eyes. GBTC gaps. You have a nice one sitting right here, right below where we currently are. Did not close that out. We also have another one sitting right in here. We're going to be talking about gaps today, by the way, guys, because there's some on Bitcoin that is part of the reason why I don't think Bitcoin's finished the upside. Whether or not we go to 40,000, we're going to talk about there's patterns up there that say that Bitcoin could absolutely go to 40,000. But there's something up there that makes me think we're at least going a little bit more to the upside before any retracement happens. I'll explain that here in just a little bit. But yeah, we got some gaps here on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Some people saying that she might have taken profit because she wants to just move money into hers. Because, of course, you guys know ARK Invest got listed on the DTCC last night as well, joining that of BlackRock. Although we do have an article here. We're kind of bouncing all over the place, but let's go ahead and let's start here. Top ETF expert says DTCC. That's a lot of E-sounding letters to end with.
This is literally what I said yesterday.
BlackRock ETF listing means absolutely nothing. I think we all knew it. It's just, here's the thing, T-Shroom. And you know what? I've been bearish recently, but I've changed my ways, and I've apologized to the people. And I'm going to be a perma bull from here on out and bring nothing but positivity. And even though I think we all knew deep down that it meant
positive
nothing,
Fridays,
it feels really nice to believe in something from time to time. And I'm seeing the light, T-Shroom. But he said here, this is Phil Back, contested the idea that the DTCC listing has any positive implications. Back first underscored that he had spent at least 6 years handling new ETF launches for the New York Stock Exchange. Moreover, he claimed to have spent 15 years in the ETF product development and management. Now, not everyone believed him. So this is what he is saying. Let's scroll down here a little further. This is what he's saying. He said, this will be significant when you see the words 19B4 approved. Then you'll know an ETF is near. Well, let's be very honest, guys. ETFs are coming. I think it probably is poorly said to say 100% because until it's officially happening, there's always a sliver of a chance something bad's going to happen. But they're going to come. And that's really what I think a lot of people are excited about with these listings is it's just further confirmation. BlackRock, ARK Invest, they're getting themselves ready. But I think there's some people out there kind of not understanding what's going on, thinking that these listings imply a approval coming very soon, maybe a week, maybe a month. They're expecting a 2023 ETF, when in reality, these listings mean nothing. We're still probably looking at best case scenario January, realistic scenario probably March. But let's stay bullish here. Let's do some charting here, T-Shroom. I'm going to do some quick Bitcoin TA. We'll do our trivia of the day, and then we'll get into some other stories as well. I found some as well, but we're gonna come down here to the hourly chart. We got to spend a lot of time on lower time frames because
before you start, I'm
oh,
sorry. I wanted to point out there was a really really sweet comment here from Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Have you ever heard this name before?
I haven't.
Vojevodin.
That J might be a yeah. Vojevodin.
Well, he knows how to pronounce it, I'm sure, Vladimir. But he said, "Keep up the good work, guys. I have been watching you for the last 2 years. When you still were with Jeb, heavily invested in Cardano. Good stuff. That warms my heart. Thank you so much, Vladimir, for shouting out and let us know in the chat. I really appreciate it. And that's a honker of a last name."
Yeah, talk more in here, Vladimir. We love seeing people engage in chat. You guys know Investing Bros. While you get to see mine and T-Shroom's face every single day, we're all bros. We're all the Investing Bros, and we need you guys in chat. Just letting everyone know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So, Vladimir, so glad to have you here. So glad that you have been, supporting us for so long. Let's talk about Bitcoin here, guys. Now, I'm going to start off with a more bullish scenario. To be honest, there's a bullish one, and then there's a less bullish one. But both of my takes today of what I think Bitcoin's about to do are bullish. So I'm going to just go ahead and tell you guys, bullish. I think price goes up before price go down is the best way to put that. The price really go up, though. Some of you have seen this. We've actually had some of our community over in our Discord discussing this. Guys, this is what we would call a flag pole, and then we have a nice little pennant. So we would call this a bull pennant, all right? We had a little bit of a fake out yesterday when it got listed, when we found out the news that listing got taken down off the DTCC. People got worried. We had volume tick up. I don't know why my volume is off. Let's turn that back on. You guys can see, right in here, the volume got really big and people freaked out, and yet we continue to hold this pattern. Let's go ahead and move this over, though. You move this over to the support level. You play this out. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, isn't quite getting us to 40,000, but no one likes to see a title that says $39,150. You guys wanted 4, and then you wanted zeros to follow that. There's not really anything significant to 39. The two levels we're looking at here, and you guys know I've said this before, I rarely see these things happen perfectly exactly at the level of the prediction. What you really want to do, let's go back out to the daily chart, is you want to look and see, hey, what are some areas of resistance close to those levels? We've done this TA in the last couple of videos, but let's do it again just so you guys can see it. First of all, we have at the 0.5 level of Fibonacci, we are all the way up here at 42.3. Don't think that one, I don't put us close enough there for that to be significant. But let's take a look at our fixed range volume profile, going back to the same timeline, and you guys will see that when we're talking about around, again, $39,100, what are some things in that area? Well, the first thing that I'm seeing is where the volume starts to pick up somewhere here closer towards 37.5, and then the next one around 38,800. So there's a chance this rally, if this pennant plays out, doesn't even quite get all the way up to this red line, but it is an area that I'm going to keep my eye on. And then, of course, the next valley, I don't know why I said volley, words are hard. That's where we get the 40,000. So if we can get a little more bullish, you do see sometimes the breakouts go a little higher. The next valley we have, I said it twice in a row, is right there at $40,000, $39,989. We're just going to round it up and say people like whole numbers. We've seen that happen recently with 35,000. We make a massive rally here a couple of days ago, rejected right at the dot, 35,000 exactly. So same thing I'm looking at here. I think you're probably looking at realistically 39,000 or 40,000. Did I say 400? I want to make sure I did, because that's what I'm talking about here. So that's the really bullish prediction here, ladies and gentlemen. If this pennant plays out, and momentum slowing down, and we need a new catalyst, because we've kind of played out the heavy anticipation of sorry, a little loud there. We played out the heavy anticipation of the ETF. But we absolutely could make another push with people being very excited. Let's go down and look at the other scenario that potentially could play out here. And this one, you're going to have to go with me. There's a chance that we could get rid of this pen. I'll redraw this later, not getting rid of it forever. But it could be that this is a reversal where we're kind of playing out a little bit of a Bart Simpson's reversal pattern where, yes, we hit our high, but you guys can see that 35,150, give or take, is acting like pretty good resistance. We got a double top right right here. So really the bulls, as much as they continue to push up and they're not coming back down to support levels, they are struggling to break to new levels of high. Even today, we got rejected right at that same level. Well, this reminds me of a similar time period, a similar pattern and look that we had all the way back here. And I don't expect it to play out this long. Let's go to the 4-hour chart just to condense this a little bit. But this does somewhat remind me of a move we made back in March and April of this year, where we came down to that little less than $20,000, exploded to the upside, struggled here for a little bit. What was our levels of resistance here? Around 29,155. We made a very quick move to the upside to what? $31,000, barely above it, and then we recorrected and moved back to the downside. Now, it didn't happen very fast, but it was a very slow, choppy move to the downside. But it happened with a Bart Simpson's pattern. In fact, actually, let me redress this. I think it's actually more realistic to see it kind of be more like this one. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Come up here to about 30,500. We make that last push. That last push up to 31,000, we like the clean numbers, and we come back down. What am I saying here about what I think could happen with our current timeline? 31,000. Let's go back to the 1-hour chart. I think there's a chance that what we end up doing is pushing up the last $800. We're trading sideways. We're showing this is strong resistance. There's lots of sell orders, but I believe that at least we're going to make a push towards $36,000. We'll probably quickly come back down, finish out a Bart Simpson pattern, and move to the downside. That's if we don't play out the pennant. So remember, super bullish scenario, we're talking about $39,000 to $40,000. We're talking about a bull pennant. Less bullish scenario, but still move to the upside. We're talking about a push to 36,000. Now, you might be asking, Tim, why? Why could 36,000 be where we get to and reverse and move to the downside? And if you are asking that question, I'm very glad you asked. That's a very good question. Let's take a look back at our Fibonacci levels. Some of you have heard me talk about this. Some of you have not. So we're going to refresh you. So either way, you feel ready and good to go. The 0.382 level of Fibonacci, when you go to the top of the bull market down to the bottom of the bear market, is sitting right there at 36,000. That's the first reason why, is because we are super close to a Fibonacci level. A lot of traders use Fibonacci when they're looking for their entry and exits. So that's my first argument to say, hey, interesting spot for us to push, make one last surge to, and then we'll reject and move back down to the downside, right? You guys can see right here, even though we played with the middle zone of this, when we pushed up here back in March, we rejected and kind of hesitated right there at that 0.236 level. Why? Because people knew that was a strong level of resistance. It also was a level that was a former support level, right? Well, guess what 36 also is? It's support from all the way back here in February 2022 when we fell down from those all-time highs. But there's another reason why 36 is very, very important, and that has to do with CME gaps. Now, you guys have heard me talk frequently. One of my reasons for thinking here a couple of weeks ago that we would be going down sub 20,000 is because there's still a CME gap on Bitcoin all the way down here that stretches down to $19,940. And when we were hovering around 25,000, that was very much within the realm of possibility. But now that we've made a push to the upside, you'll see another yellow box. What is this yellow box? It is another gap that we have begun to kind of fill. And some people, I'll tell you this right now, some people think that we've actually already closed the gap. Some people thought this gap actually only went up to about 35,200. And the reason for that is, let me move this box slightly so you can see, this gap was created all the way back here during the dip on May 6th and May 9th. So that was the Friday the 6th, and we had a gap in the weekend all the way to the 9th. And people are looking at this and they're comparing the bottom of this wick right here on the 6th and saying, all right, that's all we need to get down to, 35,200, give or take, right? And guess what? Price has filled that level. Here's why they are wrong, and the gap has not been filled yet, and we're still within striking distance of closing it. Just play this out with me, guys. If you know how candles work, candles have opens. The wicks show where they go throughout the day, but where the candle closes is where the price is at the end of the day, all right? So when it comes to May 6th of 2022, the price opened up right here around 36,380. We moved as high as 36,600. We went as low as 35,200, but we ended up closing the day. Friday trading closed at 35,920. Super de-duper close. Did not mean to pull up my oscillators. Super de-duper close right there to that $36,000 range, right? When we opened Monday morning, we opened at 34,450. Even though we have a wick right here, the gap doesn't go to where the lowest wick is of the previous day. It goes to where the candle closed. So this means we right now are within $2,000. We're within $1,500 of closing out this gap, having it finished. We have another one up here, even higher, up towards $41,500. But that one is a little farther out of reach. We'll handle that eventually. But while we're here right now, we're beginning the process of closing a gap. Wouldn't it make a lot of sense just to make that last push? Even if, let's say, price wants to go down. You guys know that price can get manipulative. There's right before big dips, there's that one final pump. Right before big pumps, there's that one final dip. Wouldn't it make sense to make that one final push right up here, close this gap out? All those traders who were left out back in May of 6 can close their entry points, and now the price is ready for a retracement. With seeing this to me, again, confirmation might not be the right word, but it's the one I want to use because we are so close to filling this gap. It's going to be so easy to just kiss it a little higher, at least close at 36,000 or get a wick up above 36,000, close that gap. And now it's decision point. Do we make our move to 40,000? Do we come back down, retrace maybe to 30,000, 31,000, give or take? Let me know in the comment section in chat. What do you guys think? Have you seen that before? Do you think that the top is in? Do you think we're not getting above 35.2? Do you think we close up at 36? Do you think we get higher towards that 40,000 price range? Very interesting what you guys think. T-Shroom, let's go back to BroCam and let's do our trivia of the day. We got some more TA. We got some more stories. You guys have Q&A coming up. So any coins you want me to look at and check the charts out, make sure you're dropping them in here and we'll try to get that done towards the end of the show. But it is time for our trivia question of the day. And T-Shroom, does the elf got me today? He lost yesterday. He had been on a little bit of a stretch. He had been fooling me. But I think I'm feeling the winds coming back in my direction. What is
the winds of change? All right, here we go. Yeah. Well, Tim, the factoid of the day, believe it or not, is actually brought to you by Decrypt.tax. We've talked about them before, but look, if you own crypto or you've been trading crypto in 2023, you want to be compliant with the U.S. government if you live in the United States. Or,
you do.
Yeah, I think it's only the United States that Decrypt.tax will work with you. They've got a free 30-minute consultation. You give Ernest a call. You see whether or not it's going to be a good fit. Guys, when you're in that 30-minute consultation, keep it brief. Don't be to start talking about your dog or your aunt who you're trying to get to buy Bitcoin. Keep it brief. Get to the point. Right?
Should you talk about old iPhones that you found?
Tim, I don't know if that's a jab at the intimate story that I shared. I was being vulnerable.
It was a genuine question.
You should not bring that up in these meetings.
Good.
This is a yes, and you need to wear a suit in the meet. I'm just kidding. You don't have to wear anything. You can keep your screen off.
No, let's please, wear something.
I think the whole point here is that Decrypted.tax is bringing us the factoid. Let's get to the factoid. But guys, definitely go check out Decrypted.tax. If you do not have a crypto tax solution headed into the new year when you're going to have to pay taxes, then you should go check it out.
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, you might as well still be using an iPhone 5. All right, what is the most expensive part of a car to replace?
Engine, seatbelts, windows, clutch. I'm going to go ahead and rule out B.
Okay.
And I'm going to rule out C because I know, there's lots of windows on a vehicle. I know at least in Florida, I don't know the rules in Georgia. In Florida, your insurance covers your windshield. If there's a crack in your windshield, insurance will cover it because it's a liability, right? So you don't have to pay for that. That's nice. Engine's going to be up there for sure. Clutch, I've never owned a manual. My parents have a manual, but I don't think the clutch has ever gone bad on it. I'm going to say A, engine. Gonzo Lag thinks it's really easy saying engine. I'm trying to work out the possibilities here. The elf is constantly trying to trick us. So you do have to kind of work through the rationale of each one.
Right.
But I'm going to stick with the first option. A, engine, most expensive part to replace in a car.
All right, he's locking it in. Engine, you heard it here. If he tries to squirrel away and say, no, it was seatbelts, then we will see. We will be able
what
to...
is this? How many people have to replace their seatbelts? What has happened to the vehicle that you have to replace your seatbelts?
Tim, when was the last time you changed your seatbelts? You exchanged your seatbelts, right?
I've
At
never
auto,
once
you go to
thought.
auto parts like
Okay.
every quarter and get new seatbelts.
Let's do this. Let's do
Wow,
this.
Tim.
All right. Well, hey, we got over 70 people in here watching. Go ahead and smash that like button, guys. We're talking crypto. We're having fun. If you guys enjoy the bros and you're here watching, you might as well smash like and hit subscribe. T-Shroom.
Mm-hmm.
We covered one of the stories that I wanted to talk about. There was another. There kind of was another. It's more of speculation, but let's go with yours. Let's go with your stories. You're a good
Okay.
story guy. Do you have
Okay.
any breaking news for us today?
We've got some little bit dated news here, but it's one that if you're a Cardano fan, you're going to care about here.
Oh yeah.
IOG appoints Sean Ford as CEO of newly created stablecoin venture. So, Input Output Global, IOG, software research and development company, is proud to announce that those folks are coming on board. Now, David Markley is a multifaceted product and operations leader. Most recently, David led Algorand's operations, venture, and business solutions team. So he's kind of jumping over from Algorand. And then Sean, he was the CEO
Yeah.
over at Algorand as well, I believe. Where does it say that? I did not highlight this one. Unfortunately, the factoid elf was distracting me. He learned a new song that he was showing me. So, but they're both over. They're both kind of transplants from Algorand, and they're going to be working on some. I guess it's the DGED, which is the algorithmic stablecoin for in kind of the Cardano ecosystem. So, some pretty significant transplants there. And Eric Wallen, finally, we have covered it here on the Investing Bros. This headline that has been circulating around, and Eric has been very adamant that this gets some airtime, and now it has. So that's excellent.
So I was looking this up earlier. Sean Ford was the former CEO of Algorand. And of course, if you guys have been following Cardano, if you're big Cardano fans, there a couple of months ago, Charles, we thought it was just a jab, just like a joke around. He's like, hey, what about it? What if Algo became a layer 2 solution on Cardano? Ha 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 ha. Meaning, hey, Algo is struggling. Charles is out here just making a joke. Of course, it's not going to happen. But now he's stealing their team, or better yet, hiring their team, because they no longer have the full faith in Algo, which Algo is still around. It's still a thing. If you like Algo, good for you. And if you believe in it, you continue to do your thing. It's not what I'm going to hold. T-Shirt, are you going to be holding Algo in this next bull market? No.
In my portfolio reveal last Saturday, which we have been doing portfolio reveals, I revealed that Algorand is not in my portfolio. I'm not getting good vibes from it. Could it potentially be a solid project in the future? I think it has the potential to, but it just, I just hear more negative than I do positive about it. And frankly, the competition is just too cutthroat. There's just too many other options that don't have negative things being said about it. So that's where you land.
Yeah, but I do think big news. So it's not really big news for Cardano itself. It's more big news for the stablecoin, the very highly anticipated stablecoin, JED. Now, I know T-Stream likes to call it DJED, but I do believe the correct pronunciation is it's like the D it's right there. Like you just heavily start the J off sound with the D, so it's JED. And I know that doesn't sound any different than JED, but I am saying one of them with the D and one of them without.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to decide which one was which. But yeah, I think this could be really, really big for that stable coin. Again, I see the future of Cardano really being the coin of the people. And I think at a certain point, it does so well that maybe some institutions take advantage of it, especially smaller companies. But I see the Ethereums and Solanas really catching the eyes and the attention of larger institutions, which is why there will be seasons of time like right now where Solana is way outpacing Cardano. This is a time where there's a lot more institutional eyeballs and interest coming into the space. Watch this happen. Watch Cardano lag in the real bull market. And as people are making money and learning more about decentralized cryptocurrency and the advantages that this could have, watch them do their research and find themselves gravitating towards the Cardano ecosystem because of its advantages in the decentralized world. I think we're going to see probably something very, very similar. And again, I was a top analyst last week, by the way, guys, of Cardano, in case you didn't know. So, put
It's
some
true.
respect on my name. Top analyst of Cardano. Let's take a look real quick at what Cardano did in comparison to Bitcoin last bull market. Now,
Yeah.
going to my screen, T-Shroom, the bull market for Bitcoin technically started getting really bullish back in October of 2020, but things started getting a lot more exciting right around late October of 2020. We weren't yet to all-time highs, but we started getting closer to them. We beat out the high that we had back in June of 19, and then we started approaching. We topped out at the all-time high in December, and then we moved on, right? So October 2020, Bitcoin starts to get really, really interesting. Well, let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano, of course, set a high way back here in January of 18, all the way up towards $1.30. Did not see $1.30 on Cardano until February of 21. So even that right there, we're talking about a 2-month delay from the excitement of Bitcoin. But you're going to see here, look at when it really started to do anything kind of interesting. We're talking about late January, early February. That's a month and a half, 2-month delay. Actually, might be pushing close to a 3-month delay in the Bitcoin ecosystem. But let's take a look. If we're looking here, excitement kind of took off here February 1st. What was Bitcoin at February 1st? I got to redo this. Okay, come on now. There we go. February 1st. Whew, man, we'd done a lot in Bitcoin. Holy cow. We cleared all the way up above 40,000 and pulled back all the way back to 30,000 before Cardano woke up. Bitcoin was on another run, but look at how much price action and bullishness happened in Bitcoin before Cardano decided to wake up. Why is that? Because altcoins trail a little bit, and Cardano trailed very, very much so. Again, we're talking about 2 to 3 months of trailing all the hype. Well, guess what? Cardano was the top moving coin of the last bull market. Is it going to be here in this one again? I don't know. I think I'm leaning away from saying I think there's other smaller, newer coins out there that could have bigger returns than Cardano. I'm still expecting somewhere between a 30 to 40x.
Well, there's no doubt that there's going to be coins that outperform Cardano. I think what you're specifically asking will any of them be in the top 200?
Yeah, I'm talking about of the top 200, Cardano was the top performing coin. And I'm saying I think there's another coin that will sneak its way in the top 200 or is already in the top 200 that would outpace Cardano. But I still think it's going to have another lagging type of scenario where, the beginning of this bull market, guys, is going to be very institutionally driven. It's going to be very hype driven. It's going to be very fear driven, where people are moving their money away from fiat currency because they're waking up to its evils, and they're moving it over into Bitcoin because that is seen as, hey, that's the new safe haven to save your store of value. Well, wait till people start waking up and learning more about decentralization. And they're like, all right, let's take a look at projects and let's examine which ones are the best for truly decentralized financing. And guys, there's not one out there that beats Cardano. I still expect it to have a nice bull market. It's just going to start a little bit later, but when it gets going, it's going to be exciting, very exciting. And I still have Cardano as my favorite altcoins of them all. Even if it doesn't produce the most gains for me, it's my long term, like, hey, this is something that's special that I think could change the world for decentralized finance.
For sure. Well, Tim, we had a request in the chat from none other than Greg Grezik.
I know that guy.
Close friend of the channel, really, really good guy. And he was actually requesting that we take a look at the fear and greed. So I've got it pulled up here. 72. 72. So we had a huge jump. That is reflective of the price movement here for Bitcoin. And you can tell that this is kind of a lagging indicator, obviously, right? So, but to me, that's saying we are in the greed. We are squarely in the greed. We're no longer in this range here where it's questionable.
It says we're in the greed too.
Except there you go in English.
Seems like you speak English. Yeah.
I'm picking it up.
And here's the thing: if you go over to my screen here, T-Shroom, because I'm looking at the same side. Let's take a look here. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Let's go, Max. I talked about it a little bit this morning. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys love the 3 p.m. shows, so glad you're here. We love having you. This is a great afternoon show, but if you didn't know, we have morning content as well. I'm putting out some TA videos every single morning at 8:30. Those are pre-recorded. And then T-Shroom is going deep into the news at 9 a.m. to 9:30 every single morning. So you can wake up, you get your TA. I'm usually talking about whatever the biggest kind of story is, and then covering charts and what we're looking at, and then he's diving into all the news. And you guys have been loving those, but if anyone doesn't know about them, go watch those right now. We are seeing here, the first thing I'm looking at is you start close up. You start with what's happened more recently, right? The last two peaks before we've keeled over and moved to the downside have been in April and July. Well, what did we do in April and July? We rallied up here in June and then July, all the way up above 60, kind of topping out somewhere around that 66 range, right? Previously in April, we topped out up here almost at 70, right there at about 69. It's not really showing it because it's not grabbing the dot correctly, but it topped up. You can see that line right there. That's the 70 line. Topped up right there at 69, and then we keeled over and went to the downside. Now you start to zoom out. You say, okay, well, let's look historically at what's happening. There's lots of different times where we actually do get up even higher. You see back here, back in June of 2019, we went up all the way above 90. Here back in August of 2020, we went all the way above 80. Here in December of 2020, we went all up in the 90s. But when you're looking at these pre-bull market rallies, anytime you're getting above 60, you're really starting to scratch your head and ask, oh no, when's the reversal coming? When you start getting above 80, it's just one of those things. Hey, price might still go up a little bit, but you want to be very, very concerned. You definitely want to be on the side of saying, hey, I might lose out on a couple profits because this is going to be a mad fall when we eventually do it. And I'm not going to be able to do it for you right now. If you go back to every single one of these, there eventually is a decent little fall in these timelines, with the exception of maybe, even this one, February of 2021. Guess what? That was the time that we were rallying. I'll just show you. That was the highest we actually got during the whole bull market here for Bitcoin. And if we go back and look at February of 2021, I think we actually already addressed that, but that was what happened back up in here. We came really, really high. I said February is the end of January. We came here really, really high, peaked out above 40,000, fell back down. I don't know if that timeline was correct like that. That's crazy. It would stay low like that. Let's go back here and look at this. Close. Come back out. And stay in February. All right. Well, see, that's a weird thing. That one's actually kind of acting almost inversely, that when we dropped, we got down to a greed zone. But my point is here, in the pre-bull market rally, when you look historically, getting up to these levels, they've not been a positive things. Big dips usually have been coming after them. So definitely keep your head on a swivel when it comes to that Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. But I will let you know, again, just because you see this does not mean we have to reverse today. To me, this tells me that a reversal is coming and we're moving back to the downside. But as I said before, with these explosive rallies we've had, you might see a 72, you might see us get up above 80, and then we make a push towards that 40,000, and then we regroup all the way back down to 30,000, a 25% decrease in price. Nothing but a thing for Bitcoin. They've done it before. They'll do it again, especially when you're starting to work with the likes of BlackRock. And that's something we've talked about before, but this is a good time to remind you guys. Listen, BlackRock, ARK Invest, Fidelity, the trillions of dollars from institutional money that is going to come into Bitcoin is going to be amazing for the long-term price action. But I'll tell you what, guys, if you don't know what the word HODL means now, you need to learn it and learn it quick and cement it into your brain, because just like a bucking bronco is going to do everything it can to get you off of its back, the manipulation that could enter the space with these large players is going to be ridiculous. I saw an article even today from one of the people I've learned. I've had a lot of people in my life over the last couple of years that teaching me TA, and I've learned and kind of been inspired by. But one of the ones that I probably learned the most amount from is a guy named Peter Brandt. And Peter Brandt is he's warning his audience right now, talking very heavily. He's like, get ready for the chop like crazy. This is what happens whenever you see these institutions come into new areas of investing. They love to fake people out. They love to go high and then go low and then go high and go low and make people eventually say, you know what, I don't like this. Most people don't like volatile markets at first. They want to stay out of them. Well, the beginning of what BlackRock is going to do in Bitcoin, it's going to get volatile. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get manipulative. There's going to be FOMO pumps and FUD falls that are going to make your brain spin. And if you know how to follow it and trade it, good for you. That's part of what we want to help with, because that's something that we are going to be doing here on this channel. But for the rest of you who are like, hey, I don't want to get at trading, I just want to make money for a long term, get ready to just hold and hodl and deal with the chaos, because guess what? At the end of the day, price goes up and to the right. Mm-hmm. That does not mean every single day has green candles. We might even see some very, very, very big red candles from time to time. Yep. But don't get upset. Don't get afraid. It's going to be an up into the right battle. It's just going to be chaotic.
Yeah, and you might be coming into, crypto for the very first time, right? Or you may be returning into crypto, but the thing is with investing in a highly volatile asset like Bitcoin or many other cryptos is you don't want to put money that you need to pay rent or, pay for food, pay off your credit card bill, that month, but because you may be tempted. It's so easy these days just to on-ramp some fiat into the cryptoverse and start buying crypto, right? And then thinking, when I need to pay rent, I'll just pop it back out. Well, the thing is like if you buy Bitcoin today, let's say, and then something bad happens in the market, which that's why we have a channel because it happens a lot, right? We're able to gain a lot of attention just because of how volatile just the news is. So if there's anything I can guarantee, it's that there's going to be more ups and downs. Right, there's going to be a lot more emotion and volatility ahead, and you don't want your rent money tied up in Bitcoin when you have to, and then you have to sell for a loss. Right, that's the worst case scenario. Well, one of the worst case scenarios that we want to try to help folks avoid, especially who are new to crypto. If you're not new to crypto, then you're still doing stuff like that. You're a knucklehead, right? Or as Dave Ramsey would say, you're an idiot. Right, and I've got the perfect headphones to say that right now.
Speaking, I don't know if it was a troll story, and we're gonna answer the trivia after this and get in some Q&A, guys. So anything you want to talk about, ask questions, go ahead and put it in chat. But I heard a story that there was a call recently on Dave Ramsey where a woman was telling him that she had $190,000 of student loans, that her and her husband had just had a baby, and she was asking his advice on how she could be a stay-at-home mom and they could live off of her husband's $33,000 salary a year. T-Shirt, what would you say if someone came to you with that?
What was his salary?
$33,000 a year.
Oh.
And she had $190,000 of student loans, and she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
How could they make that work?
You can be a stay-at-home mom, but you need to be answering the phones. You need to be doing customer service for some company, right? Yeah. Delta's hiring. There's a lot of companies that need you to answer the phones for their customers. Yeah, I mean, sitting at home, if you got that much debt, it's like, look, your kids are going to inherit that debt. That's the decision you're making, right? And a lot of people, I mean, that's the story of this country right now. It's just passing on the debt to the next generation, unfortunately. So, Tim, you unearthed a deeper truth there. Let's unearth another deeper.
We could go very far there.
Another truth.
Let's do trivia question of the day.
Thank you, Tim. Hey, I appreciate you handling that transition. I felt like I didn't have that under control at all. So
you didn't. I'm glad you're admitting it here because I didn't want to say it, but since you went ahead of it,
exactly. I don't know how I do the transitions on the live show in the morning.
Honestly, yeah.
I just text you. I need to get out of this segment. All right, here we go. We like to have fun, guys. It's all in good jest. What is the most expensive part of the car to replace? Tim said engine. Was he right? Was Tim right? He was.
Yeah. Go figure.
Boom. There you go. So he's like, what are you now? You're on a hot streak.
I think I'm at least above 80% on. It's only 2 in a row because he got me for like 2 or 3 days in a row here earlier. But before that, I was like a streak of like 9. I think my win percentage is definitely above 80. I'm definitely, I'm feeling like the New England Patriots of the early 2000s, early 2010s. That just dominance.
Definitely.
That I'm doing. The Elves are like the Browns.
Right.
So
okay. I like it. Well, this hasn't been
That's
updated.
Actually a big correlation. They recently updated their little logo and it has an elf in it. So that scenario actually worked out better than I thought. Yeah. Their new like symbol because the Browns don't really have, they just have an orange helmet. And so they had a new one come out this year and they have this elf figure that's wearing like a brown and orange thing. Yeah, they call him the dog pound, but look up like the elf. Like, yeah, look at here we go. Yeah, it's a throwback, but it's also they're now using
it's a throwback. Okay.
Well, it's a throwback, but they've now been reusing it in all of their merch. So
okay. Oh, kind of like okay, good. Yeah. Well, people don't care about football all that much. I do, though, Tim. I love football.
Good. Then we'll talk about it later. Yeah.
There's a thing here that I wanted to read, which is that the engine can be considered the heart of your vehicle, the corazon of your vehicle, and converts the fuel to power so that your car can move. So that is the most expensive aspect of a vehicle. Now, I will point out that this has not been updated since August 8th, 2022, so things may have changed
It
in
could
the
have
car
changed.
world.
Yeah.
Electric vehicles have really shaken things up. I wonder if the batteries are more expensive than the engine. I don't know. I honestly don't even know. I'm going to make myself look really stupid with this next comment. Do electric cars have the same? Do they have engines? Because the engine, no, they don't, right? I don't
Well,
know.
it definitely isn't going to work the same way as a gas-powered engine. They have to still have mechanisms that make the car go forward, T-Shroom. I'm sure there's ones
Right.
to make it go backwards as well, but they definitely need the forward-going ones.
Yeah, I'm
The
the kind of
battery's just
person.
the power.
I like to just imagine that there's just magic that goes on under the hood, and I never get to look under there.
I can tell you this: there's probably not a transmission.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, folks didn't tune in to learn about football, so let's keep moving. We've got some encouraging headlines, some updates. Binance resumes crypto withdrawals after technical issue. That was this morning. That has been resolved.
Yeah.
And so we're all very, very happy about that. Sam Bankman-Fried will testify during his trial over FTX. His lawyer says so. That is actually pretty big news. Not going to change anything about price, but it's going to make him look real. It'll be interesting to hear how that comes out, right? None of this has been televised so far, so I don't think that he's going to be. We'll be able to see video of it, but
his bodyguards look straight out of a mob video.
Well, this is the current
Absolutely.
CEO of FTX. That's not a bodyguard. I can't remember his name, but
that is not the current CEO of FTX, is it?
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure.
I don't think it is. What the current CEO of FTX would not be friends with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. That looks like the guy that I remember.
John J. Ray. That's not John Ray.
Okay. It's just,
this is John Ray.
That's not him?
No, that's not him. The dude had a full-blown mustache.
Oh, I totally forgot that mustaches are permanent, Tim. You sure that's not him?
Okay, it's not the same guy whatsoever.
I don't know. Let us know in the chat. What do you think? I think it's the same guy.
I think not the same guy.
His
not
hair
at
is
all.
the same. All right, we got to move on. We've got to move on. There are more stories to discuss here. I think that's him.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. Are you signed into the Investing Bros account? Please put a poll in chat. I want to see how many people would agree with T-Shroom that was the same person.
That's got to be him.
That's not got to be him. John Ray would hate his guts. There's no way they're getting out of a vehicle at the same time during this court case.
I don't know, man. I think.
And John Ray didn't come in until after Sam Bankman left. So this whole thing, at no point were they ever like buddy. They've only ever had reasons to dislike.
Who's saying they're? Nobody's saying that they're buddy. These people, they're.
This picture is the two of them getting out of a car.
You've never ridden in a car with someone who wasn't.
Don't even start that. Don't even begin to. Don't do that. Don't humor T-Shroom and give him an out on a terrible call.
Why is this even important? It's not important. The point is that SBF is going to have to testify, and that was something that the defense was not hoping to have to do. But it looks like the defense is just completely dissolved. Like, I haven't been paying super close attention, going to be honest with you, because it's not really affecting price. Yeah. But it's like bad. It seems really bad for SBF, and who knows how much how low he's had to stoop to be able to fund this defense. But it's been bad for him. All right, Vodafone teaming up with Chainlink to explore trade document network. This was something I reported on this morning. Vodafone, for you North Americans, including myself, Mexico or Canada, maybe you have never heard of this company. It's a big company. It's one of the biggest in the UK, and it's $155 billion company. Chump change. Chump change. Let's see. We already covered the earnings. We've got some more earnings tomorrow as Amazon will be reporting. Where is that? That is up here. Amazon is going to be reporting tomorrow after hours. Today, do we get anything after hours today? Meta. So Facebook will be reporting today. Also QuantumScape, which is a EV battery maker. And then Boeing reported this morning. So and I don't think it did very well. So ultimately, guys, the big winner today, it seems to be kind of Chainlink getting that sweet deal with Vodafone, or at least exploring. I don't know that necessarily a deal is closed, but we are reading about it, which means it's hit the press. So there it is. It's moving in the right direction, at least for Chainlink, and the price is absolutely moving in the right direction too. So that's gonna wrap up the news. I was checking out OpenSea yesterday, Tim. OpenSea,
Okay.
where you can buy NFTs.
Yeah.
And this one was pretty cool because it's like I'm still not fully sold on NFTs, just in general. And I was actually listening to an X Spaces today, and there's still a lot of people who aren't, or who have been in crypto for a while. But this one is 9.5 ETH. So, I'm not going to buy it, but it's like this kind of, it's like, it'd be kind of interesting to own this. Winds of Yawahanawa or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about the context of this project, but
I'm getting close. I'm getting close into getting to the NFT game. I still don't own an NFT at this time, but there is a launch coming very soon of an OpenSea competitor, Vumio. Vumio's coming out very soon, going to make the whole thing a lot easier, simpler. Of course, they've had some fun times in the news recently, but it's going to be a great company. They're going to do a great job. So I might be looking over there, maybe making my first purchase of NFTs very, very soon when when all that comes out. But yeah, there was some people said it earlier in chat here. Other big stories. BlockFi, of course, ignored their bankruptcy, and they're now resuming withdrawal. So that's a good thing for anyone who had money in withdrawal. The other thing I did see, and we did not do an economic open because there wasn't a whole heck of a lot to cover, but I do believe Eric Wallen pointed out, remember guys, at 4:35 today, that's going to be here in, about 40 minutes. We are going to hear from Jerome Powell. So, of course, we're not going to be live for that. We're not going to be able to cover that until tomorrow morning. If he says something really juicy, I might talk about it tomorrow morning in the morning video. I'm sure T-Shroom will cover it in the news show at 9 a.m. But, yeah, could be really important with all of this stuff happening, with markets going, crypto. Jerome Powell doesn't focus on the crypto markets, but there's no way he's not aware of what's happening in crypto. And then we see stock markets not doing anything crazy, but falling a little bit. I'm sure Jerome Powell will have something to say. And then tomorrow, you can share my screen if you want, even though I'm about done with what I was going to say. Tomorrow here in the U.S., we will get our GDP growth rate. So watch for Powell to maybe talk about that a little bit, what he wants to see, what he's thinking. If we do come out, we're expected at this point to be between 4 and 4.3 now. Yesterday, this was 4.2 was the consensus. Now we're at 4.3. So let's hear if he says anything about that. That's the biggest economic news right now. But, we'll talk about that here tomorrow. T-Shroom, you're smiling, which makes me think that you have a little bit
further examination. I'm going to concede to you, Tim, that indeed was not John J. Ray in that picture. But the thing is like sometimes people, when they have a mustache, they look very different. But there's no pictures of John J. with a mustache, and so for those reasons, I'm out.
So, well, the poll, I did put a poll in here. Only 12 votes. We need more people to vote. 46% say yes, T-Shroom is right. 38% say no, not even close. And then I had to throw in 21% now saying 85% chance that is Ray. I forgot that on the internet and on YouTube, sometimes the strangest take is often the most beloved. I guess is the best way to put that. The strangest take is the most beloved by the internet. And I forgot who I was talking to. So you're right. You're backing out. I'm going to say you've changed my mind. I think there's an outside chance that that's John Ray in disguise, playing both sides of the field. He's protecting Sam Bankman-Fried on one side and then trying to put him in prison on the other. That is the most likely scenario in my mind.
Wait a second. Breaking news on Watcher.Guru. John J. Ray's been added back to the DTCCC list. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh.
We're having fun.
I didn't know what was going to come out of your mouth, but that was fun. Oh, that was fun. Goodness gracious. All right, well, let's do this. We got about 5 minutes left here. What do you guys want to talk about? Time for some good Q&A. I see Indie Rock Crypto in here talking crypto, saying talking football. Go Hokies. Yeah, my Hokies play tomorrow night. Got to beat Syracuse.
Tomorrow night, playing on a Thursday, huh?
Shane O says detachable mustache. That would make John Ray Potato Man. Mr. Potato, not Potato. What am I saying? Mr. Potato from Toy Story. Hey, he's not that's not too bad of a comparison. He kind of looks like he could be Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, I could see it.
Detachable mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
Melifo says, yes, Tim, come to the dark side. Listen, here's the thing. I flipped recently from being bearish to bullish. Why not come to the dark side of delusional takes on the internet? Seems like a fun place to live. You know, so I might just go that direction, you know?
Yeah. Look at these. These are cute. These little like these little NFTs. See, it's like you look at them and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like somebody's put a lot of thought into that, you know? But it's like, do I want to pay for actually these aren't that expensive.
Hey, we got a serious queue for our Q&A section.
Okay, what's that?
Thank you so much, Niraj Kumar, for keeping us in the crypto world. He said, is Quant worth buying right now? Let's take a look at Quant real quick.
Quant had a skyrocketing price.
It today is very good. This is something we discussed. No, we haven't done Quant here in a little bit, but we did talk about the falling wedge pattern it was in, and we're breaking out of that as we speak, making that look very, very nice. In fact, this could long-term end up being quite the pump for Quant. So you're asking, is it worth buying right now? Well, you know, it depends on your timeline, but this right here would give us a price back up to 148.50, you know, 50 cents, back up to levels we had back in February of 2023. Currently, price is trading at 105. That would be a pump right there if that chart plays out of another 40%. Now let's take a look at some oscillators and some indicators here. We are seeing rejection here on the daily chart. Now we've seen that on Bitcoin as well, and yet Bitcoin continues to sliver up to that upside. By the way, Bitcoin rallying here a little bit up towards 34.7 while we are live. But let's take a look at some other factors, though. Money flow is flowing to the upside. You love to see it. RSI is high. The RSI, we've not seen levels this high on the RSI since all the way back here. Now, we pumped up a little higher, but that's something to keep your eye on. RSI is definitely overextended. We're more than likely, you know, not that we were going to make a straight shot up to this prediction anyway, but more than likely there is going to be a form of a retracement here. When we come to lower time frames, another thing I love to see, I'm not saying we have to do this, but a lot of times when you break resistance, not loving the 4 hour, you know, even though I ignored this one, but we're getting a lot more flashes, a red dot on the trend fusion. I think a pullback is coming. I don't know if one's going to come all the way back down, back towards $88, back towards closer to that breakout section. I love when I see resistance turned into support. So that's something I'm a fan of, but we might be so far away that that's not something that can happen. But here's the other thing to remember. Again, and I'm a bull now, so I'm not suggesting that this is going to happen by any means. However, you were massively overextended here. We pumped a lot of this, again, based off of Bitcoin news. That's not all been accurate, and some of it is a little ahead of schedule. Big pumps can be followed by big dips. We talked about that last week. I do believe that altcoins are going to take a bigger tumble than Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is in the process of really getting juiced up for its bull market. It always does it first. Altcoins, it's strange. We've watched the Bitcoin dominance just skyrocketing. Even right now, we're working on setting a new high, you know, for the year. But it's weird to see Bitcoin outpace on the pumps because it usually outpaces on falls. I put a tweet out earlier today. We're about to cross probably soon 55% in a rally. When we do get a dip, and when we see Bitcoin, are we talking about a dip from Bitcoin getting up to 40K, then maybe falling back down to 30? I do feel very confident about seeing somewhere close to a $30,000 Bitcoin again. That's still a higher low. That's still part of a bull trend. But you know, if we're rallying in dominance when that happens, I think the dominance is just going to keep shooting up to the upside when Bitcoin retraces and the people start to take profit out of their altcoins again. We could absolutely see ones like Quant, I'll go back to it, retrace and lose almost everything that it gained here over the last little pump from, again, mostly Bitcoin rallying and people getting excited about crypto. So while I'm not going to make any shorts expecting, like I'm not going to enter a short here and say, oh, 88's coming back. It's also not something that's out of the cards. But again, that breakout still very, very bullish. I do believe Quant is moving up into the right. And if you're willing to buy right now and just hold, even if we only make it back up here, that's a 40% gain from right now. Gains are gains. You love to have them. So that's good question there. Yeah. Who asked that one? That was...
And Quant is in my maybe list, my maybe category. So it's one that's on my... Yeah. On my hot list to buy. But Dave Digital said, stop. T-Shroom, just buy CAS. So he's not wrong. And let's jump over to my screen. I've got CASPA pulled up here. It's been cruising along. Hasn't really, I got to be honest with you guys, it hasn't really reacted to this new bump in crypto prices. like it was already kind of, see, back here, right, way before, we had the move on the 22nd, it was, right? The night of the 22nd was when Bitcoin started to kick off, right? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of had this natural move within this wedge, this ascending wedge, and so it's not really responded to this larger crypto movement. In fact, today it's down 2%. What does that mean? It means I'm probably going to buy a little bit more. I'll let you guys know in Discord when I pick up a little bit more CAS. But you're absolutely right, Dave Digital. And that's why I don't think I've ever bought an NFT. Well, I own a couple NFTs, but they were given to me. I've never bought an NFT just because, it's like I could buy CAS, but like I could buy things that I have a lot more excitement about. I will say, I took a look at OpenSea. I might as well take a look here at Tap Tools as well. I know we have a big contingent in our audience of folks who are big fans of the Cardano-based NFTs, the CNFTs.
Well, I'll tell you what, T-Shroom. I'll tell you what. If you want to keep going, we do have to wrap out the show. It's 4 o'clock.
Oh, it is 4
we
o'clock.
Can get some overtime here. If you want to show our Discord members that, you absolutely could go live over in Discord. Guys, we're going to wrap out today, but the conversation never stops in that said Discord. There's a free version. There's a paid version. We got a lot of stuff happening. Eric Wallen's asking me, have I bought recently? I let you guys know what I buy over in the silver level on Discord. Also, a Mellow Fellow asked tonight, is there going to be a Spaces? T-Shroom, I talked about this before. There's not going to be a Spaces tonight. We'll keep you posted on what the future of Spaces looks like. But for sure, we will be back live tomorrow morning. T-Shroom will do the news. I'll do the TA. We'll be back live tomorrow afternoon for our show. Remember, next week, we're switching to only 3 shows during the week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be reserved for our members only. So make sure you guys join the membership group today. You can check it out right below the video. It says join. Click on it. You guys can help support the channel and also get some amazing behind-the-scenes content, more access to T-Shroom and myself. But with that said, guys, we are going to go ahead and close it out. You guys have a fantastic day. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. We will see you tomorrow morning. Adios.
Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.